Happy days. Still a bit early, bit squinty-eyed. Today we are crossing the Bass Strait. We're here in Eden right now. This is Boyd Bay East, I think it's Boyd Bay East, something like that. Had a fantastic calm night here, and yeah, it's actually really beautiful. We haven't even explored this place much, but today is a weather window for Bass Strait and they don't come up very often, so we have to take it.
So this passage is gonna be a pretty long one. It's gonna be 320 miles, which would be probably 2 days and 1 night and a little bit of another night if we are fast enough, 2 nights if we are a bit slower. Bass Strait has quite a reputation, so I really hope we pick the right window and it's gonna be calm. But I don't know, I'm feeling okay. I'm just a bit tired today, so it's a bit like, oh, it's gonna be a long thing to do, but I think it's gonna be right and the sea gonna be nice.
Right, well, we are about 4 or 5 miles out now. You can see the land there behind us. We're sort of going the wrong direction. Well, we're not heading straight towards Tasmania, that's for sure. We're heading more towards New Caledonia, New Zealand. Basically the wind is coming from the southeast. It's sort of where we want to go. So we're having to tack out into the ocean, then we'll tack around and go down another half an hour or so. We should have enough room to do that. But yeah, I'm not quite sure of the tack angles on this boat yet. This is the first time we've really gone upwind in a sea. It's going all right. We were, between 15 and 20 knots apparent, and we're doing sixes and sevens and eights, and on like 40 to 50 degrees, so it's all right. It's a different motion, obviously, than halyard. It's a little bit more forwards and backwards instead of side to side, but it's not uncomfortable as such. It's quite okay. It's just different, but it's a wishy-washy. There's not swell here. It's a real washing machine-y sort of chop at the moment. It's not very comfortable, but we are getting there. And yeah, I put a second reef in. We started off with the first reef, but it was 12 to 14 knots, and then it sort of got up to being, yeah, see, I'm looking at it right now and it's staying on 17, 18, 19. So we put a second reef in. The second reef on this boat is very deep. Like the first reef is not very deep, and the second one's quite deep, so it's quite a good sail for anything around 20 to 25, 30 knots probably even. But yeah, we had a bit of a mishap before. Didn't film it, obviously. We never filmed the good bits. The jib started flapping. Yeah, obviously going upwind, the jib's under a lot of pressure. I went and looked at it, and first I thought it must have ripped it or torn it or something, but the jib sheets were still tight. The jib itself looked good, and then I looked up and saw that the top had come down. So I had to go up to the mast and figure out. I thought a shackle had broken or something, but everything was still intact. And then I looked at the jammer, and the halyard had decored itself basically. So the jammer can't grip the inner core, so basically the halyard had gone loose. So we didn't snap anything, but the halyard had come loose through the jammer, and yeah, obviously the jib had come down, and that's caused it to flap because it had no more tension on it. So after thinking about it for a while, I took the pressure off it, sailed upwind, and then pulled it up by hand, and then just wrapped it around a cleat, which is what I should have done in the first place, to take pressure off the rope in the jammer, because the jammer is actually, when it's got pressure on, it's actually going to destroy halyards. So yep, anyway, I've replaced a few lines on this boat in the last few days, but yeah, it looks like the jib halyard is next up to be replaced.
back to Eden. Second rope broke. I don't know what is the name of this one.
Jib sheet.
The jib sheet broke. So because it's the second one in 1 hour, we realized that we probably underestimate the quality and the age of the ropes, and we don't want to cross the Bass Strait if it's like this for everything. So we're gonna go back to Eden and change all the ropes, and after we're gonna be ready.
You're happy?
To be honest, not completely happy, but it's just funny.
Yeah, so as Murray said, it's time, yeah, it's one halyard mistake is one thing, but then a jib sheet breaking, and that's thick sheet as well, and it's feels burnt on the end, like it's really just snapped clean. Yeah, so those two things put together meant, yeah, we don't know what else is going to break basically. A lot of these sheets and halyards, they look sort of okay, but obviously they're just 20 years old, I would say. So yeah, not the right way to cross Bass Strait. So we're going to go back. Actually 2 days ago I changed the traveller sheets and the main sheets, put all new ones on that I had, so that was safe. But for example, the furler line on the furler drum, if that breaks, you really have a problem because you can't furl the sail and you're in the waves and you got to go and try and get the sail down. So that's a bad one if that breaks, and now I don't have trust in the running rigging anymore. So we'll go back to Eden. Beautiful place, I don't mind staying there another week or so. There is a chandlery, and I did buy some rope there yesterday, but it will be expensive. But because there probably won't be a weather window for at least a week now to go to Tassie, I might look online and see if I can bulk order a bunch of this rope that I need, because I'll need Dyneema, some of it for the halyards, and I'm sure online it'll be much cheaper than buying it locally here, and he probably doesn't have anything I need anyway. So anyway, we're about 8 miles out off Eden. Another hour and a bit we'll be back in there and we'll reassess, but no harm done really, but just a good lesson. Alright, anchored up safe and sound in Eden again, as you can see. Lovely Eden. Not terrible being back here, quite like this place actually. Anyway, I'll show you some of the damage. Jib halyard, obviously decored. Jammer couldn't hold it and it just went zip, slipped up. So now the core is up in there. I'll have to change all that out. Hopefully I can get it down. And yeah, just put a new one through. What I'll do now in the future is over tighten it and then tie it off on this cleat. It must be well, obviously they're very old, so it wouldn't happen to a new one, but still keeping things on the jammers is actually really bad for the lines. Cause a lot of chafe. So yeah, probably not really my mistake, but I won't do that in the future. Keep it on the jammers. I'll put it through these cleats. But yeah, obviously very old rope. Yeah, so that's that. Main halyard I'm going to go up and check. I think that's probably all good though. He said that was new. And yeah, all the rest of the standing rigging I'll change. Yeah, you can see the jib halyard. Jib sheet broke off there. That wasn't much fun. So I'm going to change out these ones, Screecher sheets. The Screecher halyard is looking good. The jib halyard obviously have to change. The furling line, that's the main one that I'm very scared always of snapping. Just because if the jib furls out at sea and that line snaps, well, it'll completely unfurl and you can't furl it back in. So that's a scary one. Yeah, you can just see a lot of wear and tear. Look. See here, this is where they've been rubbing on the lifelines. So the running rigging is just old. It just needs changing. I just thought I would make it to Tassie. I'm going to change the standing rigging down there, and I was going to change the running rigging as well, but it decided to break before we get to Tassie. Okay, new day. Yeah, yesterday I got some stuff done. As you can see, I changed here. I put new ones of these to hold the prodder straight. Good morning.
Good morning.
I made up new jib sheets, so they're all on. But what we need to do now is drop the jib itself to get the halyard off the top and pull that halyard through and be ready to replace it with a new one, because that's obviously the main part right now is the jib halyard, this one here. I've taken the core off the whole thing so it can go up, and I've put a line on the end that I'll pull through, so when I get the new Spectra I can just pull that one through as well and not have to go up the mast. Okay, jib down. We're going to try and feed this roll through now and get this old halyard out.
Don't pull too much, huh?
There, this is where it broke.
It's twisting a lot, I hope it's not a problem.
Oh. There we go, just came through then. Alright. Alright, here it comes. Alrighty. Alright. Cool. We can cut that off, and where do I put the scissors in there?
I don't know.
Alright, we'll just tie it off here for now.
This part too?
Yep. Okay, so now we've got a feeder line in for when I have the new halyard. I don't know, that might be a week before we get that yet, but at least it's that's in and ready to go. And yeah, I'll be doing the same for the, as you can see, this is the spare jib halyard, also pretty buggered. This is the spinnaker halyard, also pretty buggered. The screecher halyard, this is Spectra. This one's okay, so I'm going to keep that one. But I've ordered a 100-meter roll of Spectra to put 3 new halyards on. The main halyards are 2-to-1, so it's obviously a bit longer than the other halyards, but it all works out to be pretty much spot on 100 meters. The downside of that, of buying a drum of 100 meters, is it's all the same color, but it's about 45% cheaper than buying it, you know, cut pre-cut, and I'll just splice my own loops on the end. So you probably noticed in some of the videos so far that the sails are pretty discolored, pretty moldy. Yeah, it's just because they've been sitting out and people haven't been using them. And so while we're you know, got all this boat apart to do the running rigging, we're actually going to take them over to the grass over there. There's a sort of campground, picnic ground over there, or the big grassy park. We're going to take them over there and give them a good scrubbing, and also restitch some of the sun protector part on the jib. At least we can give them a good scrub and get rid of some of the mold and make them look a bit nicer. Okay, as you can see, we're making a bit of progress. I've taken all of the lines and ropes off that I could and measured them, diameter and length, and I've actually made a list now that I'll keep on the boat of all of the running rigging. So rope type, length, diameter, number of, so next time I won't have to, because actually measuring them is quite a hassle. The ones you can get off, like the jib sheets, and that's easy, but halyards and furling ropes and things like that are quite a hassle. But I didn't take the halyards out, but I measured the mast, and then, you know, it's a 2-to-1, so that's 3, whatever. I measured that and gave it a couple extra meters. Yeah, so I made a list of everything I need and sent that off to 2 or 3 different rope suppliers and also the local chandlery here, and asked them to give me a price and availability, and ordered a set of fids so I can do my own splicing. I've never done splicing on braid or Spectra, but I was just googling it and learning by doing. Doesn't look that hard. There's quite a few good videos about it and that, so I'll give it a crack. And yeah, so we're on the way, and I actually got some rope here on the boat for some of the stuff, so I'm going to make up some new gear already, and yeah, hopefully I'll get all the new stuff within a week. And then I just checked on the weather actually on Windy, and there's no good weather window to go down to Tassie now for at least another 9-10 days. Well, that's how far I can see the forecast, and there's nothing on that. I mean, it could change, but in the next week there'll be no chance anyway, so yeah, we'll be using our time wisely.
Okay, this is all for this week. I hope you enjoyed this video. That was the first time we have to turn back. In Chilean we never really had to do that, but I suppose it's normal with a new boat. We need to learn to have trust and yeah, feeling safe, and we were not feeling safe, so we went back for a good reason. Then I'm gonna show you in the next episode next week all the changement of the ropes. And for now, I say thank you to all the patrons who are behind us and really helping us with throwing some money for all the work we are doing for this video every week, who are taking some time. I am thanking also all the ones who are just watching, commenting and putting likes and subscribing. We are really happy to have all this community with us for learning by doing. See you next week!